Hey guys, how you doing? I'd actually done another vlog about the stupidity of people and the unbelievable and yet completely believable behavior of the whole toilet paper fiasco that's been sweeping the planet over the few weeks. Like seriously, like the world's toilet paper supply vanished in a few weeks because of a bunch of irresponsible individuals who just panic bought everything in sight with no real justification or reason for it. Like, it's just like, what the hell, people? Anyway, and to be honest, mass media and social media have a lot to be responsible for. They have a huge part of the responsibility for this, because they're feeding the panic in the ongoing quest for a sensationalist headline to sell more papers, to get more eyes on screens. They're selling all this story, and it's ridiculous. But anyway, so apart from humanity's the seeing everything that's wrong with humanity and the this disgusting sort of selfishness of so many people, we've had a few more developments, of course, in the COVID-19 and its associated conditions, things happening around the world, or most notably, of course, recently. We saw the outbreak, obviously, in China first, and then there was a severe outbreak in Iran where they lost control of it very quickly. South Korea, much the same, and now Italy as well. So Italy's the point where Italy's, the entire country is on lockdown. You can't even drive to the next town. They're implementing measures to try and sort of curb the infections. And now the US response has been lackluster, to say the least. And terrifyingly enough, it's statistically looking like they're going to be following a very similar path to Italy, which would mean that, in the very near future, potentially even as this goes to air, that they might start losing control of it, and things like travel restrictions might start being placed in there as well. The reason why I'm talking about this, though, is it's an interesting situation to realise and thought experiment for me, especially using the Italy example. So the Italian healthcare system, which is pretty decent, they've got good universal healthcare. It's fairly well funded, it's well staffed. They lost control of the infection, and the infection rate is rampant, and to the point where the health system capacity has been colossally overwhelmed. And they reached the point several days ago where essentially all of the health professionals were sort of advised that they essentially have to implement what is effectively a wartime triage system when dealing with patients who present with symptoms, with the symptoms or a confirmed case of COVID-19. Now, the reason why I'm bringing that up is that if that, hopefully it doesn't, but if that situation should arise, and it's very interesting, I was actually reading, the guidelines for implementing that kind of triage system, and I will guarantee you it is, I don't know, but I can pretty much almost guarantee it would be very similar. It's basics. It's the basic fundamentals, which is you look at, you don't just look at the infection or how it's affecting the patient. You're looking at the patient as a whole. So you look at them as, how old are they? How many life years do they have left? So sort of, basically it's, so somebody who is older is going to be a lower priority than somebody who is younger, simply because the person who is younger, if they recover, they are more likely to be able to help and contribute to society down the track. The person who's older has less years remaining to be a contributing member of society. Then there's another factor in that as well, which is the pre-existing health conditions that complicate treatment or make treatment difficult, or present basically a lower chance of survival. And essentially, if you have somebody who has pre-existing conditions or habits such as smoking, asthma, TB, anything like that, then you are basically bumped down the priority list of someone who will get treatment. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because I may appear to be a relatively healthy, 30-something-year-old male, which potentially would mean that I have, a 20 to 30 life years left in, sort of life years to be able to help contribute to society. So for that, I'd be a pretty good candidate to keep receiving treatment. However, as an insulin-dependent type 1 diabetic, I go to the back of the class. Like, I'm out. I'm dead. And it's an interesting realization when you realize that. That given a triage system, and I'm fully aware of this, given the triage system, should I be infected, then I'm done. And and I'm not trying to blame anyone or anything like that. It's not. I'm not saying that. Well, I'm not trying to. But it's an interesting realization that you can have. And as I said, and somebody said to me the other day, it's like, oh no, you wouldn't. You'd be fine. You're fit. You're healthy, and all the rest of it. And it's like, yeah, but it's not just that. It's not just the surface stuff you have to look at. And at the end of the day, I respect that. It's like the old moral dilemma of you've got a train going down a track that is going to hit it'll kill 5 people that are tied to the tracks, or you can divert it and save those 5 people, but at the cost of 1 life. Which do you choose? And why are those theoretical discussions important? It's because for events like this, they're not easy choices. They're not, and I'm not saying they would be easy choices, but the fact is that it's something that potentially may have to happen. And at the end of the day, I am aware that that's what the situation could cause, and then that is what it will be. So, yeah. But I don't want this to seem like a negative thing. It's just, as I said, it's an interesting realization when you have it that's the category that you end up falling into. And it's not because of any malice, it's not because of anything that I did, it's just genetics. So it's a very interesting realization. So, yeah, there you go. I just really wanted to share that with you. It was a moment, and it was... and it puts a lot of stuff into perspective as well. And again, as I said, I alluded to at the start of the whole craziness of watching people fighting each other. Like the other day, people were actually brawling in a supermarket here. Just south of here in Sydney, over toilet paper. It's like, really, people? What the hell is wrong with you? And the other thing is, if you need, 144 rolls of toilet paper, then you probably need to see a doctor for other reasons, But look, I get why people do it. It's a reaction to something like this. At the end of the day, all it was is that somebody somewhere was freaking out about it, and they needed to take back control of their situation. They needed to exert some form of control on their immediate situation. So they picked something that they could control, and they went, right, I need an essential. I don't know what I'm going to do, so I'm going to buy toilet paper. And they probably loaded up their shopping cart full of a couple of thickings of toilet paper, and that's fine. But that then has a snowball effect, because then somebody would have seen them loading up their trolley with toilet paper. and then gone, why is that person loading up with toilet paper? Maybe they know something that I don't. I'd better grab some too. And then it just snowballs from there. And the saddest thing is that people were going without, like pensioners and people on, that can only get to the shops, once a fortnight or once a month. They have to go without because somebody now is sitting on literally like, a 2 years supply of toilet paper because they couldn't, they were just like, they're just being selfish. So anyway, so be a good human, people. Be a good human, and realize that simple little things like just wash your damn hands. It's not rocket science. But at the end of the day, there are other things I'm worried about to do with traveling and stuff like that. Especially given the fact that I'm supposed to be getting married in Hawaii fairly soon. So hopefully I can still travel there. Hopefully I can still race there the day before. We'll see how it all goes. But anyway, so yeah. We'll see how it all goes. So, all right, thanks for joining in, and let me know if what your thoughts are and how you're feeling and how you're going. And I hope you all stay safe and well. As I said, keep washing your hands, keep using sanitizer and stuff like that, and don't be a dick. Be a good human. Be nice to people, particularly people who work in sales, in shops. It's not their fault. Okay, just remember that. And yeah, be a good human. All right, stay safe, everyone.